Alright guys, welcome to part 2 of going over the teams I'll be using for Faction Wars Hard Mode. I'm not going to give any of the ramble of part 1, I'll link part 1 down below. But basically I don't know the requirements for the stages yet for the 3-star, so we don't have access to the information at the time by recording this. So, just keep that in mind, I'm just basically picking my strongest, most well-rounded champions for the team. And this is just my account. Your account's going to be different than mine. You've got different champions 60, you pull different champions, so I'm just giving you the teams that I plan on using with the account that I have. Alright, part 2 guys, let's sort by faction. Up first on the list is a faction I love very much, the Seaman Spawn. Okay, let's go over. Okay, so what do we have for the Seaman Spawn? Well, first of all, I think Duchess. Alright guys, Duchess, fantastic aura. May not end up being our aura league, there are some faster auras in here, but, you know, Duchess basically, increased attack, helps anywhere attack-based nukers, perfect veil and block debuffs, really nice, protects the team from debuffs, obviously. I'm a perfect veil so they can't be targeted. With a revive, and if someone's revived, she'll put on the healing. So that's really nice as well. No turn meter, which is unfortunate. Revives all dead allies with 70% HP. No turn meter, but still not bad. And then a passive that decreases AoE damage. Not too shabby. Really, really good Faction Wars support champion, so she's definitely going in. Up next on the list, I think is going to be Magnar, guys. Magnar, just a super well-rounded damage dealer that is also tanky. There's really not much more to say with this guy. You build him with almost no accuracy, so he doesn't really land his debuffs. You just want him to smack hard, and because he HP based, you can see all of his skills are HP based, he's gonna have a way better chance of staying alive than an attack based damage dealer. So yeah, pretty much just coming in for damage. Number 3 on the list is Smelly Cath, boys. Smelly Cath, what more could you want? A defensive champion that brings block damage and shields, which does tons and tons of work at keeping your team alive. He counterattacks when his allies are attacked under block damage, and his A1 kind of smacks pretty hard actually, so you get a little bit of DPS out of him, as well as when he pops this shield. The shield is an attack all enemies, so that kind of smacks a little bit too. So you get really, really good support at keeping your team alive with the shield and the block damage and the increased defense after the block damage falls off. As well as you get him smacking pretty damn hard. So damage and support, not too shabby. So that's number 3 on our team. Number 4, guys. Number 4, I think is going to have to be Carnage, man. I just can't not bring this guy in here. He's a mythical. He's freaking badass. I mean, look at this freaking dude. Oh my god. Oh my god, look at him. Freaking awesome. So what does he bring? It's really all this form is bringing, if it ever loads. This second form, the alternate form, there we go. This form right here is just bringing damage. Tons of AoE damage. We've got a AoE double hitter, places block revive under a certain amount of debuffs. And then we've got ignoring some annoying buffs, ignoring shields, and another AoE. And then we've got this A1, which is decent. Alright, so really, really good damage in that. Like, it's going to hit a lot harder than Magnar, but he's not HP based, so he's a lot squishier. That's why I don't mind having the double damage dealers, almost triple damage dealers with Helicath, honestly. And then we're bringing really, 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 really good freaking control on this A3 in the first form. And then tons of debuff spreading with the counterattack and the A1, where he also comes into counterattack. So Carnage is just a fantastic, fantastic champion. Then last on the list, I think, is going to be Lammasu, guys. Probably going to end up taking her 24% in all battles aura. She's got a turn meter boost with a skill cooldown reset. Could use this in Duchess just to get a extra revive if things go south. Could use this on Carnage, so he could maybe open with his A3 and then use this on him. He swap forms and puts out a bunch of damage. Block reviving them could be cool. We've also got a little bit of control here on the A2, and then a decreased attack on the A1 AoE. So really, really nice. Not bad at all for Faction Wars. Also, check out this build. Not a bad build, guys. Just going full speed on her. Not too shabby. Not really super fast, but I just think Impulse is a really cool set. I love Impulse. Alright, guys, but that's going to do it for the Seaman Spawn. Moving on over to the Undead Hordes. This one shouldn't be too difficult, guys. We've got some fantastic, fantastic champions in the Undead Hordes. Number 1 on the list, the champion I'm the most confident about is going to be Morgaine. Why Morgaine? Turn meter booster. Alright, that's it. Turn meter booster on this A3. Really, really good boost, as well as a 19% speed in all battles aura. And then we've got Fear for basically just control on the waves, as well as this can steal some buffs. The A1's not bad either, a decreased speed. So yeah, just a turn meter booster that's going to get us, you know, doing multiple turns on the enemies before they even move. She'll definitely make this very easy to lap the enemies. Number 2 on the list is going to be the one, the only Lord Entertainer Fabian. Now, why Lord Entertainer Fabian? Well, Fears, first of all, AoE Fear with the Petrification. This is insane. Basically, whenever an enemy gets a turn, they've got a 50% chance to just straight up lose it, and then he can come back in there and petrify them, as well as the Lockout. So not only will we be lapping them with Morgaine, But even if they get a turn, they're only smacking with their A1 because they're locked out. So really, really nice. And then another 19% speed in all battles aura, so we could put him as the lead as well. Number 3 on the list is Vlad the Nightborn, the very first fusion that I did in Halloween of 2021, I believe. Why am I bringing him in? Well, first of all, he's actually the first solid damage dealer that I've mentioned in the Undead Hordes. Really, really solid damage dealer. Amazing? No. Great? Yes. A1, a little bit of healing, a little bit of like a lifesteal effect, also some destroy HP on the A1. It doesn't matter too much, but it could be nice against the boss if the boss has that swap HP mechanic. We could slowly wither it down with the destroy max HP, which will help out. We've got an AoE turn meter decrease with a leech. Could be a steal, a turn meter steal against certain factions. Pretty damn nice. And then this is really the crown jewel of his kit right here. You've got a decreased defense, block, active skills, AoE for 2 turns. And he puts a perfect veil on himself. So you go in, if you're fighting high elves or something like that, high elves, sacred order, or bannerlords, you'll open with this, you'll steal their turn meter, and then you'll go right into the A3. If you're not fighting any of those factions, I usually just start with the A3. And then plays the Revive on Death buff on this champion for 2 turns every time this champion kills an enemy. So every time he's getting kills, if he gets knocked down by someone that has a hard-hitting A1, he'll come back to life, so not too bad. Number 4 on the list, guys, is Mashald, Mr. Salad. This guy, I mean, just another solid damage dealer that's also good at keeping himself alive because he puts continuous heals on himself while stealing buffs from a single target. With this A3, and then he's got an AoE True Fear that grants an extra turn. It's actually a True Fear, increased speed, increased crit damage, and a leech. Alright, but I mainly just think of it as the Fear because that's what I'm used to. That's what it's kind of just become in my head. Grants the extra turn, and then you smack with the A1, and this will also attack enemies under a leech debuff. So not only is Vlad doing leech, but he's also doing leech himself. So basically this A1 turns into AoE attack as long as they have leech. And what I mean by it turns into an AoE attack, he's just going to smack everybody if they've got leads on them. So not bad. Now, our 5th and final pick, alright, it's not going to be a Reviver. You've noticed probably that we don't have a Reviver we're using in this Faction Wars. I don't think we're going to need it. If we do need it, we'll throw in Gore Grab, but really, I'm not thinking we're going to need a Reviver just because, I mean, who's going to take any turns? Maybe against boss stages we'll need a Reviver. We'll deal with that when we get there. But guys, number 5 is going to be Mr. Bad Alcazar. Not only will his passive allow us to do more damage if there's poisons on the enemies, 20% more damage. That's a big boost for our damage dealers. Big boost for everybody. But he also brings tons of healing on this A2, 2 continuous heals on my team, 2 poisons on the enemy, and a full cleanse on everybody. Not too shabby at all. So yeah, cleansing me, healing me while doing damage to enemies through poisons, and giving me a damage boost to the passive. Really nice. And then the A1 does a little bit of healing, not too shabby. So that is the Undead Hordes. That's my plan for that faction. Of course, if a freeze champion sneaks into one of those waves, we'll sub in Dark Elhain for like Mashald or something. Alright guys, the Dark Elves are next. Now this faction is a little tricky. I feel like I lack good DPS in this faction. At least who I have built right now. So it's going to be a lot of support, a lot of just, you know, toughing it out, getting through it slowly, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. Not to mention, I actually don't have a Reviver, so this faction might be a little wonky. But first up on the list, the most undoubtable, guaranteed champion to go on there is Tramaria. Tramaria is amazing. She has a 23% speed in all battles aura, definitely going to help us for Faction Wars. She's got a cleanse with a turn meter boost, and it bursts our turn meter even more, depending on how many debuffs she cleanses that are like CC debuffs. So potentially a solid turn meter fill if we're controlled. She's got a passive that makes her very, very hard to control. And when they try to control her, she gets turn meter boosts. She's not immune to all of them. She's only immune to sleep, stun, freeze, fear, and true fear. So she can still be provoked and block active skilled and all that stuff. But it's not a bad bunch of debuffs to be immune to, especially in PvE content. Her A2 is basically the same as Makage's A2 in her alternate form. It's a AoE stun with a turn meter decrease. Really, really good. I think it's actually the exact same skill. Maybe not word for word, but it's the exact same skill. And then Makage's is also a 30% turn meter decrease. We'll deal with that when we get there. And then the A1 is a decreased speed and a fear. I believe the fear, they need to have a less turn meter. Yeah, less than 50% turn meter for the fear, but still not bad. I mean, getting a AoE fear, you know, only a 50% chance after it's booked, but still, AoE fear on the A1 if they have 50% less turn meter, not too shabby. And then basically the same thing with the decreased speed, except decreased speed, there is no turn meter requirement. So really, really, really good support control for the start of the faction. Number 2 on this list is Supreme Kel. Maybe a little bit surprising. We've got him built in Triple Immortal. He's still not very tanky, but we've only got 15k HP, and we're up to over 90,000 health. So I do... Oh, no, 87,000. My fault. I did math wrong. That's alright. but I think it's not bad considering the gear he's in, man. I mean, considering that base HP we have to work with, this is pretty damn solid. Why is this guy coming in? I think I don't need to mention his whole kit. We will, though. AoE A1 with a weaken, can't be resisted. AoE increase accuracy, decrease resistance, can't be resisted. He's also got this insane skill right here, so this is basically going to be our damage for Faction Wars, or at least most of it. An AoE triple poison, and a duration increase of buffs. So really freaking nice. 3 poisons that can't be resisted. That's 15% of the enemy's health every turn they take. So with 2 turns of poison, they're taking 30% of their health. And if he increases the duration of the debuffs, I don't know if the increase of duration happens after the poison lands or before, but either way, it's still going to do tons of damage. If it happens after, we're doing almost half their health just with poisons. And then this passive, the more poisons on them, they lose some of their valuable stats. Specifically the crit rate. If he can get back around to this poison twice and put 6 poisons on them, they can no longer crit you. But even if you just have the 3 poisons, their chance of critting you goes from 15% to 6%. So they're over 2.5 times less likely to crit you than normal. So, I mean, only having a 6% chance to get crit is pretty nice. It's going to help your guys stay alive and going to make runs way, way, way more consistent. So really freaking good. So he's number 2 on our list for a really damn good reason. Number 3 is going to be Mythrala. Now, what do I really need to say? This champion basically can't be debuffed because her resistance is so high with this passive. She also has this increased defense, increased attack on the entire team with a hex she puts out there. If enemies attack anybody on the team or her while they're hexed, they have a chance to be petrified. She's got a really good cleanse with a strengthen and a shield. Sometimes you don't even need to cleanse with this. You just want your team to stay alive, so you put up strengthen and shield so they're tankier. Because the strengthen and shield are that good. It's not the best shield in the game, but it's a pretty damn solid shield. So not too shabby on that skill. And then the A1 with a double poison. It's really freaking nice. This actually does some pretty solid work against bosses. So she's definitely deserving a number 3 on the list. Number 4 is going to be Lydia the Death Siren. How could you not? Block active skills, block buffs, poison sensitivity, which will actually help our poison team on the A3. Only on one enemy, but still. AoE, strengthen, increase speed, and then decrease defense and weaken on the enemy. Amazing. She's got a passive that maybe could come in handy if an ad tries to revive somebody. She'll cancel out the revive, and if we have someone dead, she'll bring back one of our guys instead, which is really nice. If not, she just denies the revive attempt, which is okay. It's not a permanent block revive. It's actually only a temporary block revive. You can test that by taking this into Arena and using it against the Sun Wukong. It will deny his first revive, but then 3 turns later, he'll still come back to life. So this isn't like other block revives in the game. It's only a temporary block revive, but still. And then also, if you get block revive, she can ignore that. If someone else attempts to revive, she'll still bring your guy back. And then an A1 with fear on it, not too shabby. And then last on the list is a little tricky. It's either going to be Luria or Coldheart, and literally the only reason I'm not going to read their whole kits is because they're going to be our damage. Coldheart will be better for boss damage with her Heartseeker, but she still does okay wave damage. A little squishy, though, which is what makes me nervous. Whereas Luria being 6-star and having Crushing Rend and all that, I think is going to hit harder and be better for the waves. I think bosses will just try and take care of them with poisons, as well as she does have a freeze in her kit and a block revive, so not too shabby. I think Luria is going to be our 5th and final pick for this faction. The Knights Revenant, probably one of my most loaded factions. Look at all those damn 60s. Look at all those chickens. Oh, man. Let's jump right into it. Let's give you guys number 1 and 2 right off the rip. I don't think there's a point to waste any damn time. All right, number 1 and number 2 are the White duo, White Queen Ancora and White King Narcissus. Why am I bringing White King Narcissus? A phenomenal HP damage dealer that is almost impossible to kill for Faction Wars content because he's so goddamn tanky. He can die in PvP, sure, but in PvE, you ain't hitting me hard enough to get through over 100k health, 112,000 health. I mean, maybe if he was the last guy alive, right? But with all the other stuff we got going on our team, this guy's not dying, man. He's not dying, and if the enemy strengthens their shields, he double hits them with his A2. It's insane. If they have 3 buffs on them, he'll block revive with his A3 right here. Block revive with this. Also can ignore passives, can get around Rhodoses and shit like that if there is a Rhodos in the Faction Wars. But even any annoying passives with his A2, he just says, screw that, I'm ignoring it. So really, really nice, phenomenal damage dealer. And of course, he gets bonuses from Ancora. They are a champion duo after all. Ancora, what's not to love about her, man? Basically has a 19% speed in all battles aura. That's what we're going to be using in Faction Wars because it's pretty damn good. Revive with a cooldown reset. If this revives Narcissus, you get some extra bonuses. This is just really, really tanky. Basically shield and strengthen. We're getting the strengthen because Narcissus is there, as well as a turn meter fill. Not too bad. Going to help me keep the team alive while also cleansing them. This is a cleanse. I don't know if I mentioned that. It's also a cleanse. Her passive, it will keep debuffs off my champion with the highest crit damage. She will take those debuffs instead. And when it's her turn, she just cleanses the debuffs right off herself and takes her turn anyway. So literally, her and Narcissus will not be able to be debuffed. I should say, they're crowd control debuffs. So if you read it, you can actually see what debuffs it is. Crowd control debuffs other than block active skills. So she will stop all that stuff. So her and Narcissus are always going to take their turns, which is good because she can get her cleanse off and clean off the rest of your team. And then an A1 that gives you basically some cooldown resetting. It's going to go towards Narcissus, but if Narcissus has all of his skills not on cooldown, it'll go towards somebody else. Number 3 is going to be Theodore. I don't have him booked. I don't really know if I need him booked for where I'm using him. But his gear's not even maxed out yet, but I still think he's that freaking good for Faction Wars. Literally, guys, I mean, AoE decrease speed, really nice against the waves. Poison sensitivity, and AoE increase speed. And then he increases the duration of poisons and HP burn debuffs on all enemies by 1 turn, and instantly activates the poisons and HP burns, and then also places a weaken on somebody who has somehow escaped the poison and burns. This is really freaking good. He's just a poison exploder, right? That's the best way to put it. A poison exploder with increased speed and decreased speed. Really nice. So he's going to help us get through those waves a little bit easier, and he's going to do nice boss damage through his poisons. And then who better to combo with Theodore than Walking Tomb Drang? Walking Tomb Drang will bring those burns that Theodore can explode. Instant activation of burns on an A1. It's only for one enemy, though. He's not like an AoE activator like Artak. But even then, Artak's AoE activation is not on his A1. It's on a different skill. AoE irresistible, 100% chance to HP burn. Really nice. He's also HP based. He doesn't hit very hard, but at least because it's irresistible, you do not need to build him with accuracy, meaning you could just pump health like I have here. 94,000 health. So literally just health is pumped into this guy, nothing crazy. Just a tanky champion that can land burns. Also has an equalizing of HP on this skill. Not too shabby at all. This actually gets around heal reduction. Equalizing of HP ignores heal reduction because it's not like continuous heal or a passive or nothing like that. When you equalize HP, it somehow doesn't count as a heal for heal reduction. So if we get heal reduction in one of the waves, Walking Tomb Drang can heal us anyway. So yeah, just a tanky burner with a cheesy heal mechanic. And last but not least, I think, is Mad Hatter. Why Mad Hatter? Good debuffs, good crowd control, and good healing. The healing and the crowd control comes from his passive. Every 6 turns taken by enemies places True Fear debuff on all enemies for 1 turn. And then every 10 turns taken by allies heals us by 20% of our max HP. Not too bad at all. So healing and CC just through the passive alone. You've got a little bit of a duration of buffs and duration of debuffs manipulation and a turn meter fill. You've got AoE Hex Weaken with a bringing in your highest crit damage champion, which will be the Narcissus. So he'll bring in Narcissus to smack with his A1. Not too bad while adding the Hex and the Weaken. And the A1 is nothing crazy. Has a little chance to steal a buff and apply a debuff spread. Not too shabby. So that is our Knights Revenant team. I think we're pretty loaded on Knights Revenant. We've got tons of champions we can also sub out. We could always sub out Walking Tomb Drang for Tomb Lord to get more poison to the team. We could add Alatreon if we need more support. Not too shabby at all, guys. Alright, guys. So now we are on to the Dwarves. This faction, I don't have many 60s, but the 60s I do have are freaking phenomenal. So number 1 on the team is going to be Runekeeper Dazzdirk. Runekeeper Dazzdirk is one of the first Void Epics I got, probably the first 3 or 4. This guy carried my account early game, guys. He's so freaking good. A1 with a chance to place Leech, defense base, nothing really crazy there. We don't care too much about that. I think he's not even built with accuracy. But what we do like is this increased attack on all allies and a 25% turn meter fill. Not bad on a 3-turn cooldown. This will help our attack-based damage dealers, and it will also help everybody because of that turn meter boost. And then we have a pretty damn solid cleanse with some healing, as well as more healing if he removes debuffs. So like, let's say, you know, Geomancer has 2 debuffs on him. Well, you know, you get a continuous heal now for even more healing. So he's like, I know I just healed you, but here's some healing for in the future when you need it. So not too bad at all. Just a really good support. And he's tanky. He's hard to kill. I mean, defense based, so it's pretty damn nice. This is one champion that I actually would say the Resilience set is one of the best sets for, just because he needs HP to heal you more, because the healing is based off of his max HP. So you do want HP on him, but then defense based isn't bad either, because, you know, you can hit a little bit harder with this A1. So Resilience set, not too shabby on him. Champion 2 and 3 are the exact same champion. We're going Trunda, boys. Literally, do I need to say anything? I mean, Trunda is fantastic. I've got her built for Hydra, but the Hydra build works just fine in Faction Wars. Literally, guys, nuke, and nuke. Alright, the A1 is a single target, you know, smack, but it hits hard. This, if it kills someone, will spread damage This skill isn't necessarily as good. Usually it just kills one enemy and the damage it spreads isn't that significant anymore after they made it so it couldn't crit. But, I mean, it's still not bad. Still a solid hit right there. You're going to usually kill one enemy and then get a nice chunk of damage on the others. And then this A3 just rips things to shreds. I don't really worry about the debuffs. I don't have enough accuracy. Like, she does have enough accuracy to HP burn Hydra though, so maybe. But I'm not too worried about that. This is literally just meant to blow up the waves. Exact same thing with the other Trunda. So we've got Runekeeper Dazzdirk and double Trunda. Don't forget they'll have increased attack from Runekeeper. The fourth champion is Nut, guys. I mean, what do I need to say, man? First of all, this A2 with counterattack, weaken, and decrease attack. Phenomenal. The waves are going to hit me less hard, and they'll have weaken, so we do more damage to them. And counterattack, if they smack him, he will attack them with this A1, and because they've just hit him, they have no turn meter, which means this will freeze them, which is really, really freaking nice. Because it says if the target's turn meter is not decreased, each has an 80% chance of placing a freeze debuff on the target for one turn instead. So when they have no turn meter, you can't decrease it, which means they get frozen. Not too shabby. And I can also, if I had to, I could just target someone with the A1 and try and freeze them if their turn meter is low enough. If not, I'm still dropping their turn meter, which is kind of helpful. And then this A3 tears apart champions, right? It's only a single target, but still it'll tear apart most champions it hits, as well as this absolutely wrecks bosses. So this, you know, mainly he's going to be our boss guy, but still solid in the waves. Not amazing in the waves, but solid in the waves. And then our last champion, guys, might be a little surprising, maybe not. It's going to be Tormund. First of all, AoE Provoke. I love that. This passive, when they get buffs or turn meter boosts, we might freeze them. Gonna make things a little bit easier. A1 with a chance to freeze. As well as if Trunda can get some burns going too. The burn freeze combo on Tormund is nasty. Just turns him into a freaking machine gun. And then this A2 is a little buff strip. So nothing crazy. I mean, not like an insane champion, but still really freaking good. And I believe he's going to be our aura with 33% defense in all battles. I think I would prefer the defense over the attack in all battles. We could maybe go the attack with Runekeeper Dazzdirk. Could also go the attack with the Trundas, actually, because I guess it's only magic allies, but I guess Tormund don't need attack, Nut don't need attack, and Runekeeper don't need attack. So yeah, we could either go Trunda's aura or Tormund's aura. I don't mind going Tormund's because it will make Nut better, and it'll also make the Trundas more tankier because they have more defense, but it doesn't matter too much for the aura. Because of all the damage dealers I have, this is actually one of my quickest factions on stage 21. Up next, guys, is the Shadowkin. Now, first, I want to take a look at Lady Mikage and see if that A2 on the alternate form is the exact same skill as Tremaria, who we mentioned earlier. Attacks on enemy, places a stun debuff for one turn. Also decreases the turn meter of all enemies by 30%. Yeah, the exact same skill. The only difference is it reads a little bit smoother because you don't have the books that give you the increased chance. Because Tremaria unbooked is only an 80% chance to stun and 80% chance to decrease turn meter. Once you book it, it's 100%, but it just reads as 80. So it reads a little bit funkier, but it looks like it's the exact same skill. So I guess we'll start with her. She's the first champion I'm bringing in, guys. Literally, A1 is a mini ally attack that's going to bring in one of my Shadowkin guys. It's random. We don't know who it's going to be. Obviously, the whole team Shadowkin, but that's fine. You've got the best duration of buffs and debuffs manipulation in the game. Or the best version of buff and debuff manipulation, like turn manipulation in the game. And then you've got this fantastic ally attack that pretty much deletes anything it hits, and on bosses it absolutely chunks them, so we love that. And then we can swap forms if we would like for some strippage right here, and for some stun, and if that's not enough, we'll sleep somebody. Not too shabby. Probably going to be our aura lead as well with the 80 accuracy in all battles. Number 2 is going to be Ninja, guys. A1, that smacks with a decreased defense. Fantastic against bosses. Also not bad against waves when stuff's on cooldown. This AoE freeze is really the skill we want for the waves. We're literally, I mean, you smack the champions in the waves, and now the entire wave is frozen. So that's not bad at all. I definitely don't mind the entire wave being frozen and not being able to attack me while I can get my skills off. And then this A2 that destroys bosses and is okay on the wave. You'll get a little bit of HP burn damage for it, but this is not anything crazy. Number 3 is going to be Gamran, mainly because he's going to be our only reviver. He does have an A1 that has a good chance to land block active skills, so we can target a champion and try and lock them out with that. He has a buff steal and a buff spread effect, so let's say there's a man-eater, still the unkillable, still the block debuffs, put it on the entire team, pretty damn nice. And then he has this A3 that places block revive on dead enemies. That's really what I like it for. You kill someone, you block revive them, they're gone. And this passive, when he places the block revive, will revive somebody. And then also, just whenever someone dies, not on your team, whenever an enemy dies, he revives somebody. Pretty damn nice. We've also got 6-star Brimstone, that's worth mentioning too. Also have that on Ninja, so we've got tons of Brimstone on this team. Number 4, guys, Riho Bone Spear. Alright, A1. is really, really good at healing. You get lots of continuous heals on this. A1, you get more continuous heals if your champions are super low in health. A2, just a debuff monster, destroys bosses, and also if I pick a champion that is giving me problems, I can target that guy, put tons of debuffs on them, and somebody will come through with damage and delete them. And then we've got a really big heal with a nice block debuffs and a cleanse right here. And then a passive where she'll reflect debuffs off of her. So not bad at all. Also 42% attack and faction crypts. Not a bad aura as well. We could go that because we might not need Mikage's accuracy. Now the last champion is a little freaking tough. I think I want to go with Kyoku, alright? Why is she going to be here? It's literally, this is the only skill I think we need to read. It's the ally protection with the block damage. Plus I also have her in a guardian set. So she's gonna be basically like the only support we have other than Riho. So Riho is in charge of the healing and she's in charge of the damage reduction, hoping that we don't need that much healing. And I think I'm good with that. I don't think I would love to get Michinaki or Corrado in here, but there just isn't any space. I think the champions we picked are the best that we got. Alright guys, and last but not least is the Sylvan Watchers. Man, these guys, whew, they lack a little bit of damage, but they're a goddamn good faction when it comes to support. You'll see what I mean. I think the very, very first guy I'm going with, the guy that I got to go with, the girl I should say, is Elva. Elva, man, freaking the only reviver we've got right here, other than like a tree shield knot, but I don't have them built, obviously. So again, the only reviver that we have right here. This revive is an okay revive. It's not an amazing revive, but it will do the job. She's also got the speed in all battles aura. She's got a fantastic cleanse, one of the best cleanses in the game in my opinion, with a block debuffs and an increased speed. Really freaking nice. And then we've got some healing on the A1. Not amazing healing, but not too shabby. And then also some healing on the passive too, which is not bad. As well as she will protect my weakest champion, the ally with the lowest HP. So, a really good kit overall, so really good support kit. When I first got her, I think I over-exaggerated and said she was like a mini Siphi. But my account was so new when I got her from that guaranteed event way, way, way back in the day. I don't think she's anywhere near... I mean, maybe mini Siphi is still fair, but I think we're quite a ways off of being anywhere near Siphi level. I guess the kits are kind of similar. Not a cleanse, but still a block debuff with increased speed. And then, you know, a revive, I guess. I don't know, though. A lot different from Siphi, that's for sure. Champion number 2 and 3 are going to be Emic and Emic. These guys, man, oh my god. Two of them together is nutty. First of all, if you play things right, you could be unkillable forever with two of them. As long as they don't have a buff stripper or a way to ignore unkillable, that could be a problem. But you just unkillable with one, and then you know, when your buffs are about to fall off, you unkillable with the other. They do have to both be booked, though, to be fair. And they are also kind of speed tuned together. You can see 105 plus 155 and 105 plus 156. That way, this one would open with his A1, and then this one would place unkillable. But not only that, that's not the best thing they have, guys. That's not the freaking best thing they have, alright? Really, what they're going to do that's fucking phenomenal is going to be this right here. An AoE with a shield with a decreased cooldown of ally skills by 1 turn. This is why they can keep the unkillable up forever with just the two of them. Because you use the unkillable, and then you use the cooldown reset. Unkillable, cooldown reset, unkillable, cooldown reset. You keep just rotating like that. If there's ever any off turns, you just smack with the A1. But because I have two Emics, we're just going to keep doing the same thing, right? Unkillable, cooldown reset, unkillable, cooldown reset. And it just makes things nasty. And don't forget, it's resetting the cooldown of all your allies. So, like, Elva could just keep constantly freaking cleansing. Like, she's going to cleanse A1, cleanse A1, cleanse A1. It's like every other turn she's going to be freaking cleansing. It's going to be nasty. So that's really what I like about them. They're in so many of my teams. You can actually see they both have this symbol because they're both in my Irons Twins team to just give my damage dealers their skills faster. Number 4 is going to be Eostrid. Now, Eostrid is built for Hydra in a Hex set. The Hex is going to help us, you know, spread a little bit of damage, especially with the DPS that we lack in this faction. So she's going to help us spread some damage with that Hex set, with the Curse set. She's also got the Journal of Necrotis, a little bit more turn meter boosting and healing. She's got a little bit of healing on the passive. Not that we really need it, but it's there. And then she has this fantastic increased speed, increased attack with a turn meter fill, and an extra turn. Then you decrease speed and weaken the enemies and reduce their turn meter. And then finally you can A1 and hopefully sleep somebody. The chance increases depending on the debuffs that they're under. And don't forget, she's going to be getting this constantly because of Emics doing the cooldown reset. So she's going to constantly be giving us turn meter boosts with extra turns, and then constantly decrease speed and weaken on the enemies, while also doing these AoEs and landing the curse set. And this increased attack will be perfect for our 5th champion, which is going to be Mist Rider Dithey. Mist Rider Dithey, man, what can I not say about this guy? This guy is fan-freaking-tastic. Increased attack is going to allow him to hit a lot harder. He does bring his own increased attack, increased accuracy on this A3 with an extra turn. We could use that as well. I got nothing wrong with that. We can use that for sure. But if for some reason increased attack gets stripped or falls off, Eostrid might have us covered. He's got an AoE decreased defense, so with him and Eostrid, we've got decreased defense, weaken, and hex, and decreased speed. Pretty damn nice. If decreased defense is placed on all enemies, he gets an extra turn, which then he cycles in the A1. The A1 smacks really hard and also has a 10% chance of granting an extra turn. I believe it's 20% chance after it's booked. So this guy can take 4, 5, 6 turns back to back, especially if you get him Relentless set. I don't have him in that, but it's pretty damn nasty. He's really going to be our main DPS for this. But Eostrid's definitely going to help him out with the debuffs that she brings and the buffs that she brings. So yeah, the final faction, not insane. Eostrid and Grand Oak Padraig could maybe swap places, but I think I prefer Eostrid's kit over Padraig just because we have the double Emic, so all this turn meter boosting and reducing is going to be crazy. Padraig does have a turn meter boost, to be fair, and an ally attack, so Padraig could maybe go in over Eostrid, but I think Eostrid just works a little bit a little bit better with Dithey. My main Hydra team actually is a single Emic, a single Lady of Areth, Eostrid, and then double Trunda and Duchess. So I've seen what she can do with 2 cooldown resetters. The only reason I don't run double Emic in my Hydra team is because I want Lady of Areth's like extra buffs that she brings. I think she's a little bit better than running double Emic and for Hydra. Also, she also isn't a protection set for Hydra, so that's why. But I've already seen what Eostrid can do with 2 cooldown resetters, so she's going to do just as good in Faction Wars with those cooldown resetting champions. Alright guys, that's going to do it 41 minutes later in this recording. God damn, man. 41 minutes, 42 minutes by the time I'm done rambling. Guys, that's going to do it. Let me know what teams you're planning on using for Faction Wars Hard. Again, some of these guys are going to have to sub out so I can get some of the challenges done. But I think we're going in with a pretty loaded roster. I've had Lydia for a long time, but the only problem with me having Lydia for a long time is some factions just haven't gotten any love because I haven't pulled a champion in that faction I want to build, whereas some factions have had really good fusions or really good, guaranteed events that I've built those champions. So it feels like some factions are just loaded and others aren't, whereas when you're going for Lydia, it's a little bit more even, right? Because you're trying to beat kind of all the factions at the same time. After you finish Faction Wars, it just goes crazy. I got 40 Ogryn tribes and 6 Sylvan Watchers, not that ridiculous, but it can get that ridiculous. I mean, we've got no Revivers and not many good DPS champions in our Dark Elves team, so, stuff happens. Whereas in our Orcs faction, I feel like we were loaded with damage dealers. So, shit just happens. It depends a lot on who you pull, too. But definitely, that's going to be it for the video. Let me know your teams down below. You know what? Let me know your Sylvan Watchers team. Unless one of the other ones we went over, like Seaman Spawn or Undead Hordes, you think you have a really cool team for, let me know those too. But, if you can't think of what team to leave down below, let me know your Sylvan Watchers team. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.